Hello everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is Monday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time, November 17th. We're more than halfway through my birthday month already. Time flies. For those of you who don't know me, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on Vancouver Island in Canada, and tonight I'm going to be making a project with the Branching Out bundle. Now, I wasn't going to get this bundle, and then I saw some really beautiful projects that Lisa made. So thanks, Lisa. I added to cart, and I blame you. All right, so it's a very simple card. It will be some two-step stamping with a bunch of different colors of ink and a little bit of blending. So that's it. I'm just going to bring up my laptop, flip the camera around. Hello, Marion. Hello, Connie. I'm missing some comments. Hey, Teresa. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Kate. All right, flipping the camera around. It's going to get bumpy. All right. Messy desk. That's how I roll. All right, so let me just show you. If you have not seen the Branching Out stamp set, it is more than Christmas. When I first saw this, I just assumed it was a Christmas themed stamp set and I didn't need any more Christmas stamp sets. Hey, Carissa. But it's not. The sentiments are not necessarily Christmas. I mean, you could use some of them for Christmas, but they're a lot more than that. So it's more versatile than I originally thought. It's two-step stamping, which is actually pretty fun, and the dies have all these beautiful frame dies that I really like. So I'm using the dies tonight and a lot of the stamps. So I've just got a Crumb Cake A2 card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4 on the long side. And that makes your A2 card base. It's just half a sheet of cardstock. All right, then I've got Early Espresso and Basic White frame die cuts using the largest frame die in the Branching Out bundle. And then I did another piece in Basic White using the second largest frame die. Hey, Kathy. Hello, Donna. All right, so this is a very simple card, but really fun to make because there's so much stamping. So let's get started. All right, first off, Early Espresso, the smaller Basic White frame. Hey, Connie. And Colette from Las Vegas. Hello, everybody. Okay, I hope I'm not missing comments. It's possible. Now, I've got one of the stem stamps, the smaller one. So there's two. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. I've got the smaller one. And I'm just going to ink this up in the Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp this from the top left at an angle down towards the right side of the card, but going across the card and not too sharp of an angle, right? Now, while I have my Early Espresso out, I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Early Espresso as well. Hey, Jamie, thanks for tuning in. Hello, Sarah from Ohio. So I've got this sentiment from the stamp set that says, "Thinking of you brings joy to my heart." Yeah, that seems sweet. I like it. Let's do it. So I'm just going to ink this up in Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp it in the bottom of this frame. All right, a little bit crooked. That's okay. I'll get over it. Hello, Sarah, Shara. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Hello, Jack. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, now I have got these little, I don't know what these are, pine needles, spruce boughs. I don't know. There's two of them in the stamp. So there's one that are close together and one that are farther apart. So somewhere in my mass of colors, hello Esther from Texas, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to use Garden Green for this, and I am using the, I don't know, spruce needles, pine needles. If somebody knows, tell me. I'm going to use the ones that are farther spread apart, and that is going to fit on the tip of that branch. So you can kind of see these little buds or the nubs there. That is where I need to line these up. And this is where two-step stamping comes in, because I'm lining, to create the image, I have to stamp it twice, right? Two-step stamping. Now, I want to line up the bottoms of the greenery with the edges of the branch. So I'm going to try to get my head right over top and make sure I'm lined up and then stamp down. So there we go, number one. So it's pretty easy with the photopolymer stamps, especially when the branch is dark. You can see where your stamps need to go. Hello, Gina Marie. Hey, Janice. Hello, Gina. All right, now I've got the greenery closer together, and that's going to fit on this part of the branch. Same thing, a little bit of garden green ink. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to get my head right over top so I can see where they're lined up. Nailed it. Look at that, hey? It's so easy. All right, it's a little bit naked. Do not worry. All right, Carissa says pine. Thank you, friend. I don't know my trees. I mean, I should. My husband, you know, part of his job has to do with trees. He's very, you know, tree savvy. He knows all the things. My son can identify trees like crazy. He's so good at it. I take him out with me when I go mushroom picking because some mushrooms like certain trees, and if I'm looking for a certain type of mushroom, I have to ask my kid, Kai, tell me what trees there are here, and then I know what mushrooms to look for. And I never remember. I can remember cedar. I remember cedar trees and arbutus. They're really easy, right? Hello, Jill. Hey, Jennifer from, where are you? What? I just lost your comment. How did that happen? Jennifer from rural Manitoba. Sharon from ND, is that North Dakota? And Connie, hello. Pine needles, 2 for pine needles. Thank you, Carissa. Thank you, Connie. Okay, now this is still a little bit naked, right? So it needs more. Let me close up this screen. So now what we're gonna do, now it's all making sense. So then if these are pine needles, then this means these are little pine cones. Thank you for sticking with me as I try to sort things out. And now you know one more thing about me, that I really struggle with tree identification. We live in a forest, friends. Like our house is surrounded by forest, and there's more than one kind of tree. And do you think I can remember? And yes, we do have pine trees and arbutus trees and Douglas fir and alder and cedar. Yeah, I'm terrible. Okay, I'm going to ink up this little pine cone in Pecan Pie. Hello, Carlene from Wisconsin. Hello, Susan. All right, now there's all sorts of little nubs that I'm going to line up and stamp my little pine cones all over the place. I'm just going to line them up with these little nubs on the branch. Oops, that one I smudged. All right, that's fine. This pine cone is going to go this way. I'm going to cover up that smudge. Yeah, perfect. You don't even know that I messed up. That's the fun part about the stamp set. There's so much stamping to be done, right? All right, carrying on, because I've got all of these little nubs poking out of the branch, and I'm going to fill them in with these pine cones. Well, I mean, why not, right? Why not? 2 more. Okay, so I am super happy that I got FOMO watching Lisa make her cards, because this is a really fun set. It's so fun. Hello, Lorraine from Chilliwack. Yeah, Carissa, I know. I almost thought they were acorns. Maybe they are. Hello, Gita from Everett, Seattle, Washington. I've gone through Everett before. Lorraine, buddy. Okay, Lorraine's on. Lorraine Hirsch is a friend of mine. She comes to my classes. We're buddies. And look at what she made for me. Oh, Lorraine Hirsch, friends. She handmade me this ornament for my tree. Isn't that the cutest gnome ever? Look at his little nose. Anyway, thanks, Lorraine. It's so cute. You're so talented. Okay, now, oh, you know what? While I was yakking away, I smudged. Of course. All right, that's me, right? That's me. Gina, thank you. Acorns are from oak trees. I'm learning some things. I'm going to try to remember that. While I have my pecan pie still open, I'm going to take this little pine cone and I'm just going to throw some right in the corner here, just wild and crazy like, and then one in the bottom corner as well. And then I'll reopen one of my green inks, or my green ink, and I'll stamp some of the pine needles. Okay, I do not need pecan pie anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. Or wait, maybe I do. No, I don't. No, I don't. I know what I'm doing, friends, mostly. Okay, this is an inside layer. I forgot to mention that. Now, I've got crumb cake and, thanks, Janice. Thank you. Crumb cake. And somewhere in my mess, in that stamp set, there's this little, I think they're supposed to be berries, but I'm going to use this for just a little bit of background texture. So I'm just randomly adding these spots to the front of this card, just wherever, you know. And I'll cover right over my stamped images because crumb cake is lighter than the colors I've used, so I'm not even worried about it. Just going to be wild and crazy like that. And then maybe I can even hide that smudge a little bit. Sort of. Sort of. Gita, have I tried an ink eraser? No. I don't even have an ink eraser. Is that a thing? Is there erasers that will erase these water-based inks? If there is, I need it, like terribly. Okay, now I'm just going to set that aside for 1 second. We're going to do a little bit of blending on that, but I want to make sure all that color is dried before I get into it. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to open up my crumb cake again, and my green actually. I'm going to do a couple things. Okay, so I need my crumb cake. I need my green. So I have to tell, I have a few stories to share with you. I got I got a comment on one of my reels that was in a different language, and I didn't know what it said. So I'm just looking for my stamp cleaner because I need to clean it off in between uses. Anyway, I didn't know what the comment said, so I hit the translate button on Facebook. And you know what? I'm expecting something typical like, oh, pretty card, thanks for sharing. Something typical that I usually get when I post a reel. And you know what it said? Dirty fingernails. And then it had an emoji face that looked like somebody was really cold. So I'm guessing the emoji face was to express disgust with my dirty fingernails. Anyway, so yeah, it's true, friends. Sometimes I have dirty fingernails. Like, I get ink in them. Look at, I get ink everywhere. So yes, it happens. But anyway, it was pretty funny because when I opened up, when I translated that comment, it is not what I was expecting, and I had to laugh. So I thought that was really funny. Lorene, you need an ink eraser too. Yeah, me too. Patty says in the US they have one that's called a sand eraser. Yeah. Okay, so I know I've got ink on my fingers, right? I'm just going to carefully pick that up and put it somewhere else. And yes, I don't remember the name of this person that left me the comment in a different language about my dirty fingernails, but it's true. They are dirty. Okay, and then there was another comment, seam reel, from someone else. I can't remember her name. This made me laugh too. And she had commented that the design was nice enough, but the pattern paper I chose really didn't go well together. They were fighting. I think she said the designs were fighting each other. So she critiqued me. Totally fine. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome to do that. But I had to laugh because I thought this woman has clearly never watched my live, because I flat out say I'm the world's okayest crafter. All right. And that's going to apply to the paper that I pick. Okay. I digress. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I need the crumb cake. I need the stamp set. Gita says on Amazon buy mono. You ordered one and they sent you the wrong one, so it's going back. All right. Well, Gita, let me know. Let me know if it works out. Yes, Cherry Lane. Tracy with Cherry Lane Stampings in the house. Are you still on the island, Tracy? We had a little coffee date. Was that last weekend? I can't remember. Time is going. Or was it the weekend before? We've been really busy. We had a celebration of life to go to, my husband's best friend. Before that, we went fishing, and Mike saved somebody's life. I can't wait to tell this story to you as well. Hello, Judy. Okay, now I've got the pine needles again with Crumb Cake. I am going to stamp a border of these around. Oh, I messed up. What do you do? I'm just going to stamp a border around the edges of my card front, just so it's got a little more visual interest when I lay those layers down. So totally optional. You don't have to do this. Maybe you think it makes the card look too busy. So that's totally up to you. And I'm just doing Crumb Cake on Crumb Cake. If I wanted it even more subtle, then I would do second generation stamping. If you're not sure what I mean by second generation stamping, it's just when you, I'm just going to fix this one or attempt to. It's just when you pick up your ink, you stamp it off, and then you stamp it, and you have a really nice lighter shade, right? All right. Lorraine says, I believe if you can't say something nice, keep it to yourself. You know, I heard that when I was a kid on Disney. Pretty sure it was Bambi. Anyway, I had to laugh because it's really funny. If you watch me live, you know I'm not a professional. I'm just winging this stuff, friends. Just winging it. Gina says if you catch your smudge right when you do it, you can erase it with very gentle pressure because it'll take the top layer of your paper off a little bit. Oh, that's really good to know. And Cherry Lane, you're saying the same thing. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. And you're home just in time for the Great Cup. All right, Janice. Yes, Mike saved somebody's life. So before his best friend's celebration of life, we took coyote fishing. It was last week. Yeah, it was Remembrance Day. It was Remembrance Day. I forgot to tell you guys this story. So we were out fishing at a creek that runs into the ocean, and it's actually a very deep creek out in Easthook. So Kai's fishing for salmon at the mouth of this creek, and the tide's coming in. So it's really deep, and the bank is very steep. And if you know the Pacific Ocean, it's freezing cold. So we were out there by ourselves for a little bit, and then an elderly gentleman came with his grandson, and I would say this man was in his late 80s or very early 90s. He was definitely older, and you could tell he struggled walking, but he's out there with his son and he's fishing and he's living life. And I was like, yeah, you go, you do that, because I mean, why give up the things you love, right? Just because you get old. I think about these kind of things. So he's out there with his grandson and he's doing what he loves, fishing, but we're watching him. We're keeping an eye on him because of his mobility. So now I've just got my blending brush. I'm picking up some garden green. I'm going to take off the heavy green ink on a piece of scrap paper. And then I'm going to work my way into my focal point here, just bringing in some soft green into that stamped image, right? So the reason I take off a little bit on the paper is because I don't want it to be that dark when I pull it onto my paper. I want it to be nice and soft and subtle. You can always add more color, but you're not going to be able to take it off. I don't even think an ink eraser is going to do that. So anyway, we're watching this fellow because he's got some mobility issues and he's walking very carefully with his hands out to his side for balance, and he's kind of teetering and tottering, and he's wearing hip waders, which means he's got rubber pants on that have the boots and the pants are all one piece, and then there's suspenders over his shoulders. So anyway, I went back to the car to get my book, and when I came back to the creek, Mike was fishing for something at the edge of the creek, and this old man was soaking wet, and I said, what happened? Apparently he fell right into the ocean, and it was so steep and so deep, and his hip waders filled up with water. He was so lucky Mike was there because Mike was strong enough to pull him out because his grandson couldn't do it. He was so heavy with all the water that had filled up into his hip waders. So yeah, I think Mike saved his life. I was so proud of him. And he said it was really hard to pull him up the bank because of the weight of the water that had filled up his pants. So what Mike was fishing for was his glasses. They had fallen off and they were in the mouth of the creek when the tide was coming in with the ocean. And he snagged them. He actually got those glasses with the hook on his fishing rod. And not only did he pull this poor old fella out of the ocean, but he also was able to fish his glasses out. I was so proud of him. All right, that's my story. Mike saved his life. I'm sure of it. I don't know how he would have got out. The embankment was so steep and the water was so cold and he was just so heavy with those hip waders. Okay, now glue. I'm sorry, I talk too much. I have lots of stories today. I'm just going to glue the white die frame that we've stamped and blended onto, oops, I just got glue on my work shirt. I forgot, I haven't even changed it on my work clothes today. And I just tipped my paper into my work shirt. All right, I'm going to line this up on the early espresso layer, and I'm just going to gently adjust that so it looks like it's perfectly in the middle. The sample one I did, I was way off. It was driving me crazy. Yeah, Lorene, Connie, I think so. I think so. I think he was meant to be there at the right time. I was so proud of him. And I love that this fellow was out doing the things he loved still, even though it was maybe that particular place to fish might be a little dangerous right at the edge of the ocean where the steep, deep creek meets the ocean. The tide's coming in. The banks are really steep. Yeah, anyway. Okay, linen thread. I am going to add some linen thread. I'm going to wrap it around a few times and then tie a bow off to the left. I'm thinking about it as I'm wrapping the linen thread. It was quite the day. So Kai he didn't even get a bite, but there was definitely salmon in that creek because there was this sea lion that kept swimming around Kai every time he cast his line. And so that sea lion knew that there was salmon coming up with the tide. And next thing you know, that sea lion was causing a huge ruckus and he's flipping and flopping out of the water and just making waves. And it was loud and aggressive. Well, he must have been right in a school of salmon because every time he came out of the water, he had a whole salmon in his mouth. And I swear to gosh, ladies, friends, he was eating those salmon whole like a pelican. It was crazy. So it was a really fun day. And we took Willie, and Willie had a good day too. So anyway, that sea lion, what a ruckus. Anyway, the sea lion, he caught fish. Kai? No, he did not catch fish, but it was a really good day. And Kai helped his dad pull that poor fellow out of the water too. So he got to be part of something that I think is really important, right? Like just being in the right place at the right time and being a good human being and helping somebody. And he wasn't even really near Mike, but Mike kept paying attention because he was worried about his mobility. So, all right. My husband will drive me crazy sometimes, friends, drives me crazy, but mostly I'm really proud of him. Mostly I'm really proud of him. But he does drive me crazy because he like listens to the TV's always cranked. He likes things really loud. It's not his fault. He's got hearing loss, but I still get crabby about it. All right, I just want to move my bow over a little bit more to the left because I don't love where it is. It's blocking my sentiment just a little bit. So I've already got it tied around. I don't want to untie it. So I'm just going to gently bend my paper, and that allows me to slide that bow over. So you can just see what I'm doing. I'm just slightly flexing that paper, and then you can very gently move your ribbon around and reposition it. So quick tip, you guys probably already know this. Yeah, Carissa, that sea lion definitely stole Kai's fish. Definitely. All right, so here's our layer. This is going right on the front. I think we'll pop it up. This goes on the inside. A little bit of bling, and this card is done. Yeah, done. Yeah, Lorene, mostly. Lorene, I am proud of them. I'm mostly proud of them. So I'm proud of Kai too. They're good people. They're good people. But I'm pretty sure, like, when I say that I'm, sometimes Mike drives me crazy, I am 99.9% sure that I drive Mike more crazy, especially when he comes up to my craft room. He can't stand it. He can't stand the mess. It's almost cleaned up. I'm just doing a little bit of card designing and packing up some card kits for my online class on November 30th. So once that's all done, I'll clean up my space and he can relax until the next time I make the mess. All right, now I have got the dimensionals on the back. I was moderate, friends. I barely use dimensionals. I'm just kidding. I usually use more than that though. All right, so I just want to line it up and try to get it centered the best I can before committing. Yeah, good enough. That'll do. All right, inside layer, just a little bit of glue and we're good to go. So for those of you who shop with me, don't forget, it's my 50 and Fabulous CRAFT-A-BRATION this month. And what does that mean? If you're shopping with me, number one, there's some rules. You got to be in Canada. And that's it. That's the rule. You got to be in Canada. It's not my rules. I don't really love rules, friends, but those are Stampin' Up rules. Okay, number one, if you're in Canada and you shop with me in the month of November, because it's my birthday month, there's lots of extra perks. So number one, every single order, no matter what it is, you will get a free gift from me and an invitation to an exclusive online class on Zoom. And that class is November 30th at 10 a.m. For my teammates, some of you are on this live right now. That class, you get it, you just get it, all right? You just get access just because you're part of the team. So you're not missing out. So I'll be sending you a supply list, measurement list, and the Zoom link soon, very soon. All right, I'm just going to add some embellishments to the front of the card. And I am using low profile dots. Last time I looked, they were in the clearance for $8. I'm not sure if they're still there. All right, now carrying on. My 50 and Fabulous CRAFT-A-BRATION. Every order, you get a free gift from me and access to that online class on the 30th via Zoom. Replays available because I know we can't all make the dates that I decide to do a class on. So there's that. Now, if your order is $60 before tax, shipping, and Stampin' Rewards, you're also going to get the card kits for the class so you don't have to do any prep work. Now, I'm going a little crazy with these dots. I'm going to put 5 on. And I'm going to do them in just a little bit of a flow down from the left to the right edge because I need to use up some dots. I've got an abundance of retired gems, right? I gotta use them. Okay, now if your order is $100, you're getting everything I just mentioned, plus some embellishments mailed right to you. If your order contains a kit, a card kit, a craft kit, or a scrapbooking workshop, then you're also invited to a kit together, either online November 29th on Zoom or in person December 6th. Did I say 5? I'm going for more than 5. All right, and every single order is entered into a draw for $50 in Stampin' Rewards. And that includes those of you who picked up a kit from me this month as well. Your name's going to go in the draw for the $50 in Stampin' Rewards, and I'm going to do that at the end of the month. All right, so that's it. Now, let's see, how many gems do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is a lucky number. I like it. I'm going to use these dots up. All right, so here is tonight's project. So simple, right? How easy is that? flip the camera around. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this card. If you don't have the branching up bundle, use whatever you have in your stash, and I would love to see what you come up with. Now, if you don't have the dies or frame dies, then just cut some cardstock layers to make your own frame. So that's easy. You could even just like cut your corners if you wanted to be fancy, you know, just by like taking pretend this is a nice piece of layered cardstock. You could literally just snip off a corner to make a fancy layer. You could do whatever you want. All right, so that's it. I don't think I have any more stories. I'm sure I'll come up with something next Thursday. I never seem to have run out of things to say. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, whether you catch this live or on a replay. For those of you who do catch live, thank you so much for filling up the feed with all the comments. I love being able to chat and interact with you as I craft along. So I appreciate all of you. And for those of you who catch me on a replay, I appreciate you too. If you are catching this on a replay in YouTube, you're going to find the measurements, which really, it's just the A2 card base, so it's nothing really exciting. But for all my YouTube videos, in the description of the video, you will find the supply list and the measurements. This is a poor example because it's just the A2 card base and some die cuts. But that's where it is. I'm going to pop this video into YouTube so it's always available on replay, because Facebook deletes videos after 30 days. So if you're ever wondering where those videos go, Facebook is making space and deleting that kind of stuff. So look at all the hearts. You guys are too good to me. All right. So thanks again for tuning in. I will be back Thursday with a fun fold for the Delicate Pines card class at home. I don't know what it is yet, so I'll come up with something. And, you know, Wednesday night right before bed, that's how I roll. All right, everybody have a lovely night, and I am sure I will see you all back on my page very soon. Bye for now.